Team 5.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to talk to you about children today. Children are the future of humanity. And for the first time in human history, their lives are projected to be shorter than their parents. Hi, I'm Dylan Hillman. I'm CEO of ExxonMobil. And we believe that this is a problem that can be fixed. That problem is childhood obesity. Let me just walk you through an average day of, say, a 12-year-old middle school student. Just go through what they eat for the day. So let's say to start off with cereal and a banana, you're already looking at 378 calories or so. Go for lunch, maybe they grab 2 slices of pizza, chips, and a drink. That's another 820 calories. Come home a little early before mom gets home, maybe has a couple cookies, 1,000 calories. Dinner, spaghetti, meatballs, and maybe a soft drink at the end of the day. 602 calories. So this 12-year-old, without doing anything unusual, has already eaten 2,800 calories for the day. The recommended intake for a 12-year-old, an active 12-year-old, which we'll get to later, is 2,200 calories a day. So we're already looking at 600 calories per day more than this 12-year-old should be eating. So let me share a little fact with you. Obesity has more than doubled among children in the last 30 years, which leads to several diseases, actually innumerable diseases, such as cardiovascular disease, the one that we're all too familiar with, diabetes. Can you imagine getting diabetes when you were a kid? You have to have insulin just to eat for the rest of your life. And if that starts when you're a kid, well, that gets a little expensive. Not to mention you have to shoot yourself up at school with insulin just to eat your lunch. So, little projections. So first off, like I already shared with you guys, children today are predicted to live shorter lives than their parents. There is a rapid growth of type 2 diabetes in this country. And by the year 2040, Texas is projected to have 43% of its residents to be obese. That is 15 million Texans that will be obese in the future. Now, why is this happening? So, first, we're going to put the blame kind of on technology. So, we're driving everywhere, especially in Texas. We have air conditioning everywhere we go. It is easier than ever to get calories in and not burn them. So, what are the costs? Well, we have a social cost. Obesity in children can lead to them having less confidence in social situations. They are less likely to participate in athletic endeavors because they may not feel comfortable doing so. There are medical costs. Like I said, if you have a 12-year-old that has diabetes, they have to pay for insulin for the rest of their lives. And with the advent of Obamacare, it's going to be a public cost. We're all going to be paying the price. There are also the academic costs. When you have diabetes, you're having an excess of calories in your diet as a child. That leads directly to ADHD, attention deficit disorder, which is lowering the scores in schools unnecessarily. As I'm sure you're all aware, us compared to the United States, compared to the rest of the countries in the world, are falling behind in test scores. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Arsh, Chief of Operations.
Thank you, Dylan. So as Dylan stated earlier, an average teenager consumes 2,800 calories per day, whereas an active teenage girl should only be consuming 2,200 calories. Now, we all know teenagers don't work out on a daily basis. They don't even get out of the house. They're playing NFL on their TV screens. So that brings us down to the main problem. It's not that their diet is wrong, their meals are wrong. They're eating good stuff. They're just eating way more than they should be. Their calorie intake exceeds the amount of calorie their body requires, and they're not burning any of that up. They're going to bed fully loaded. And we came up with a program, a 2-step program that we're going to be implementing. Step 1 is going to be awareness, where we're going to visit all the 7th graders, all the middle schools in the ISD, and provide an educational presentation, kind of giving them awareness into their fitness, their nutrition, their healthy lives. And based on the feedback and the applications we receive back, we're going to partner up with a mentoring program, which is going to take it further on to step 2 for kids that need additional help. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to David, our marketing officer.
Thank you, Arsh.
First thing I'd like to discuss is why we're choosing to target 7th graders for our program. Here's a graph. It shows the different age groups. We got 2 to 5, 6 to 11, and 12 to 19. Now, in the last 20 years, as a society, we've become very aware of the effects of obesity and what we can do to combat obesity. And it seemed to work in the first 2 age groups, 2 to 5 and 6 to 11. But in the age group of 12 to 19, we've actually seen an increase in the obesity rates. We attribute this mostly to the autonomy of children when they reach this age. From 2 to 11, parents have more control on what their kids are eating, the types of activities that they're participating in. But when they reach 12 and through high school, they're choosing these things on them, for themselves. So that's why we believe that 7th grade is a vital age for them to be hearing this education. So for the first part of our program, the awareness, this will be the presentations like our shed, where we'll have full-time presenters going into the 7th grade schools, all the middle schools in DISD. It'll be an educational presentation where they'll learn proper diets and different physical activities that they need to be partaking in order to live a healthy lifestyle. The presentation will aim to be fun, volunteer activities, games, things like that. And then at the end of the presentation, each student will also receive an informational packet to take home. These packets will include information that they learned through the presentation, but also include an application process to be involved in our second part of our program, which we feel is the most vital part of the program. That's the mentorship part. It's interaction with employees from ExxonMobil. We've actually sent out an email to all of our employees at Exxon, and we've had many enthusiastic responses of how they want to get involved in the program. So the mentor will be assigned a school where they'll go to and be with a group of students. They'll do a physical activity for 30 to 45 minutes, and that'll be followed up by discussions on goal setting and different things or plans for their future, as well as just somebody to bounce off questions with on different problems that they're having in their lives. From our experiences, we've seen that a lot of overweight kids just don't feel comfortable in an athletic type setting because they might not have the same athletic ability as some of the other students. So we feel like putting them in a group of other individuals like them will help to boost their confidence and help their futures. So with that being said, I'll pass it on to our head of accounting, Ms. Cheryl, to talk about staffing and budget.
Thank you, David. Okay, our staffing will be made up of 2 groups, like said earlier, awareness and interaction. The awareness group will have 5 permanent employees, which are 4 presenters and 1 administrative. And these presenters will go to the schools, which we're considering about 40 schools, and explain all of our program to them. Our interaction will be Exxon employees with incentives, 2 hours off work paid to go do the mentorship program. Our budget is $216,730. This is $40,000 per employee, 15 cents for the handouts that we will provide for the students, 57 cents per mile for the cost for travel expenses, 40 schools, about 100 miles to the school, give or take some. Some will be closer, some will be farther. The laptops and equipment for the presenters will be around $1,000 per employee, and then 75 cents for healthy snacks that we will distribute to each child. And now back to Dylan.
All right, so this is obviously a problem. As a problem that here at Exxon we believe we can fix. What we're asking for is for you to split the difference with us so we can make this program a reality and start the ball rolling on getting this problem fixed. So I'm going to open it up for questions.
What kind of healthy snacks are you going to be providing?
What kind of healthy snacks will we be providing? Apples, carrots. If we can get kale chips in there, we will. That'll be a bit of an experiment, though.
I know you said you have the packets for the parents, but would there be any other way of communication with them? Because I think that would be a kind of vital part in changing the actual attitudes and activities of the child.
Okay, so the question is, will we be providing other avenues for, other than the packets, for contacting parents? And the answer would be yes. We have plans in the works for a website and as well as an email service to the PTAs of the school district to get the word out as well.
Thank you, Team 5.